We are less than 3 weeks out until the midterms, and Tennessee Senate candidate Marsha Blackburn is up in the polls. Her lead over Democratic opponent Phil Bredesen now up to 5 points, according to the latest Real Clear Politics average. Joins us right now to respond, Tennessee Senate candidate Congressman Marsha Blackburn, joining us from beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning.
This is good news for you because this is the third poll in a row that has shown you in the lead.
That's right, but we know that the one poll that counts is November 6th, and we're determined to be winning on November 6th, and the early vote starts today.
All right, it does indeed, 7 o'clock out there. Got to ask you about Taylor Swift. A couple of days ago, last week, she came out on Instagram and essentially endorsed a couple of Democrats, including your opponent. Has it had any impact?
What we know is that Tennesseans care about the story of their life, not the story of their day. And really, what they're focusing on is our positive message. It is getting through, and that is what is going to carry people to the polls today. They like this message of less regulation, economic growth, good constitutional judges. And they're remembering and finding out some of the things about Phil Bredesen, the sexual harassment scandals that plagued his administration with some of his cabinet. And he had 2 tracks, one for Friends of Phil, the other for everybody else. And Friends of Phil, the documents were shredded, and those were dealt with privately. So people are remembering that. They remember that he gave driving certificates to illegal aliens. They remember that he drained the road fund and used that for general expenses for the state. So people recall those. And I tell you, Steve, our message is getting through. I was out in West Tennessee yesterday, and we just had great crowds, great response. I was in Jackson for a Get Out the Vote rally last night, and people are showing up. They want to make certain we have a conservative in the U.S. Senate. Well,
Congressman, you said a moment ago the only poll that counts is the one on Election Day and, of course, on early voting that starts today. What do you make of the president saying, you know, I'm hearing from voters who say, I'm not going to vote because you're not on the ballot?
Well, and I talked to some of those who identify themselves as Trump Democrats, and what I find is that they are going to show up and they're voting for me. And the reason why is because they do like having those constitutional judges, and they are so pleased that we have Justice Kavanaugh on the bench now. That matters. They want to keep the Trump tax cuts. Yeah.
All right. And Kavanaugh, we have heard, has been a big motivator among Republicans. Let's see how it turns out for you coming up in 3 weeks. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us live.
Good to see you. Bye-bye.
By the way, thank you very much. By the way, we did invite her opponent, Phil Bredesen. He declined our information.